Hi, this is Angela, and you are listening to Divinely Connected. This is your weekly guidance for June 4th to June 10th. We do have 5 cards pulled, so let's get to it, see what's going on this week. All right, so we're really getting focused on, I love this energy. We're really getting this focused on this of reprioritizing what is important to us. You may have already seen this starting to come in the first couple of days of June, but June is very much of a reset type of energy coming in. We had a major release with the full moon in the first couple of days there of the month of June. And now the focus is on, okay, how can I get back to feeling more aligned, feeling more rested, feeling more joy, focusing on things that make us happy, focusing on things that are bringing us value in our experience. There is this feeling of moving out of survival mode into more intentional use of our time. So what I really like about this is that feeling of resistance that we have all been feeling, of again, either like we're trying to move forward, but it's like an uphill battle, or we're 3 steps forward, 2 steps back type of process. This is coming in a much easier um, energy where there is that universal support that's going to help us be able to make these decisions, gain these habits, and change our priorities. So, really wanting to focus on what we love, and also, finding value in that and finding value in ourselves. So, not only are we going to be um, holding ourselves accountable, but there's also this feeling of we are no longer going to waste our time, waste our energy if it is not bringing value back in. So remember, everything in life needs to have this balance of energy exchange. Energy goes out, needs to meet energy in, and it can come in different ways. But when there is an imbalance, then that's when we're getting into resentment. That's when we're getting into burnout. That's when we're getting into drain. So when you're putting energy out, it needs to be matched with energy in. So for an example, if you work in the service and you need to energy that you give is your service, it's matched back with payment. And if it's not matched back with payment, then it would need to be matched back with equal amount of energy, whether it's a trade of services, whether it is to give you notoriety, if it is to give you exposure, like there has to be that change, right? This also comes in friendships. This also comes in relationships. This comes in with your workplace. Remember that, right? So if you're finding a lot of resentment in work, it could be that you're giving more energy than you're receiving. And so then what do we do with that information? We either need to adjust the energy that we are giving, or then we need to look for a different job that does give us back as much energy as we give, and or ask for promotion, ask for some other way, maybe days off, maybe better hours for yourself that accommodate you. There's different ways that we can create that balance of energy out, energy in. Okay. If this comes in again, there's a lot of this feeling of like, oh, well, I did this and I bent over backwards for them, and it wasn't reciprocated. Well, then that is your answer, right? And if you are doing that for you, then that is you giving yourself that energy. You can't expect someone who didn't ask for it to then be in debt to you. So that's where we need to kind of hold our own accountability and go, okay, hang on. Am I over giving and then depleting myself? Is this because I have lack of boundaries? Is this because I'm not charging my worth? Where is this coming from? Right? So just remember that these messages are always to be interpreted by your own intuition and how this applies to you. But when you think of it as, I think that we can all recognize how we do feel that depletion or resentment, even when it comes into things that we love, that is always indicating that there is something that is out of balance, that there's more energy going in out than there is energy coming in. There's also this feeling as well is that you need to have a wide stance as well when you are reflecting your life. So for an example, if my home life is out of balance, then I will be feeling out of balance, out of sorts, maybe in my work life, right? So it's not always that, oh my God, I hate my job. It's kind of go, okay, wait, hang on. Where am I hemorrhaging energy, right? Where is the depletion coming in, and how can I set the boundaries? Think of dams, think of water. How can I create a more balanced or more useful time of my energy, no matter how this is coming in for you? Okay. There's also endings coming in as well. So it says releasing situations or people that no longer serve you. Okay. Seeing the humor in difficult situations. So there is definitely a change out. Again, I feel like I've been saying this for a couple of weeks, where there has been a change out of personnel in your life, right? So whether this is people who are departing, we are breaking up, we are moving away, we are having falling outs, we are changing jobs or locations. So there's a lot of change out around the people who are in your everyday life. Know that that is okay, right? Know that that is on purpose. Not everybody gets to go this entire life experience with us, that they do come in for reasons or seasons, like that saying goes, and that it's okay that we are all growing and on different paths. So you're going to notice, you may even find yourself, because they just made me feel completely withdrawn, that as you are going and reprioritizing and refocusing on what is important to you, you may actually find yourself retreating a little bit, right? And also, again, with the boundaries, they're like these boundaries, but you know what I love about this is like there's no resistance to these boundaries. You're just like, you're gone, you're out. So I love that. You may even this find as well that we need to do a little spring clean on our social media. If there's people on your Facebook feed, if people are on your that have awareness or have access to your content and they make you feel negative, or they bring the negative out of you, if you're kind of looking at their profiles and going, oh, like remove them, unfollow them. Like, you want your energy to you want what is yours to reflect your energy. Your social media, when you open it up, it should be valuable content. It should be posts and people that you love and that make you feel good or that bring in value. Whether, it's recipes or puppy pictures or weekly guidances or however this comes in, it should give you good feelings, right? So that's where we need to have this boundary in place. And again, I do feel like that not only are you in a position where you're ready to put these boundaries in place, that the universal energy is supporting us to getting going and getting these changes rolling, where there really was this feeling of push and pull within the first 6 months, that it was really hard to kind of stick to what we're trying to work on. You weren't alone. Everybody was feeling that. Luckily, this energy is lifting and shifting, and you're going to feel more familiar and more like yourself this second half of the year. Okay. You have to understand as well that there's major healing happening. And when you are healing, things feel different, right? So there are experiences that we feel, or there may be experiences, there may be things, maybe we love our job, but because we're going through a lot of things, it's very heavy. It's very heavy. And now you're just like, oh my God, like not only did I lose my husband, my brother, my father, I now feel like I don't enjoy my job. I don't enjoy what I used to. It's like I lost myself, right? So as you heal, you will start to feel more of those familiar feelings. And it's not that you don't love what you used to love. You're just in the thick of it. You're just in the throes of it all. So nothing is going to feel good. Nothing is going to feel familiar. And they're saying that the personal growth comes from these challenges. It says great sadness that will heal with time. Let go of the past. Personal growth that comes from challenges, healing misunderstandings, and being there for those in need, including yourself. So know that as we are almost rebuilding again, and I just even said very quickly to Spirit, I'm like, didn't we just do this with the pandemic? Right? That feeling of everything that we knew kind of broken down, and then there was this rebuilding. But now I feel like again there is, and maybe it's because now it's on our terms, we are then again very feeling of clean slate. And okay, now what's important to me now that I am in this version of myself, or now that I'm in this position in my life experience, so much has changed. I'm going to say in the last 10 years, I feel like life is unrecognizable if you think back 10 years from now. But even within the last 3 years, it's been constant transformation, constantly transformation. Even what we have learned merely 3 years ago when the pandemic started to now what we're learning now, what we're feeling, what we know. Hindsight's 2020. Everything is again doing another turnover. So even though it does feel like you're kind of like, how did I get here? It is very much on path. They are saying, listen, I know that this feels bizarre, but you are exactly where you need to be. I just got the chills from head to toe. The ending of the end of a situation that brings relief, sadness, or both. The opportunity for new happiness, a weight off your shoulders, the end of addiction. So again, this is can't make it up. The wheel card, which is all about beginnings, a fresh new start, end of delays. You cannot make it up with these cards. Am I right? So again, validating the energy, validating everything that we have just been talking about, how this energy of this full circle moments, of things wrapping up, of major lessons coming in, of the change out, even in how we reflect our life, who's in our lives, the daily routines and chores, and how life feels and how it's completely different. All of this is coming into completion and preparing you for this new beginning, this new world, this new life that you're walking through. And I understand, because I can almost feel like, especially for those who are going through major grief and going, but this isn't what I would have wanted for myself. Right. And that can always bring in a lot of resistance to moving forward. And it's never that you're listen, every experience of your life gives you what you need for the next chapter in your life. And sometimes chapters end quicker or more abruptly than we would want, than what we would have chosen for ourselves knowingly. Although, don't even get me started on the soul contracts and how you actually did choose this for yourself. That's for another day. Um, but that this is, again, you will then see in the next season how hindsight's 2020 and how everything had to lead you to this point for you to walk this next chapter. And there are going to be blessings and lessons and all of the things in it. Um, so just trusting in that what is happening for you isn't by accident. I think a lot of the times when we go, well, I shouldn't be here, or there must have been a mistake along the way, then that really does keep us stuck when we're trying to get the momentum forward. The universe is pushing us forward, but we can't move. And that's actually when we can get very disconnected from ourselves and from our truths, right? And the further away from our soul we become, the more depression, the more anxiety, the more dis-ease within our systems, within our souls. So just bringing in a lot of reassurance to even baby step it forward, even if you don't know where you're going, having that blind faith that the universe is supporting you. Always, 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 always. Okay. And again, I love that this wheel card's coming in, because it's almost like the adrenaline or the excitement around it. Like, to me, it's something that is coming in for you that's going to carry us a little bit, kind of give us that running start to it. So I think we are all need that as well in this energy. There's also some spiciness coming in. Listen, which I feel like, again, I've been saying for the last couple of weeks, spiciness with communications. It's a time of miscommunications, but this is also a need of where we need to push through with communication. Meaning that if somebody is misunderstanding you, you can say in the moment, like, listen, I don't think that you're hearing it in the way that I'm intending to say it. Let me say what I need to say. And again, I always say, if you have these uncomfortable conversations with people who are valuable to you, with who you feel like, okay, this is worth sitting in the discomfort with. Some people are just, no matter how right you are, you can say, listen, the sky is blue. No, it's not. Right? So for that type of person, I wouldn't even be bothered wasting your energy on it, because when they decide that no matter what you say, it's wrong, then why say anything? But there are relationships where the ego may be triggered, or they may be jumping to conclusions, or maybe you're misunderstanding and you have to go, okay, hang on. Is this what you meant when you said that? Right? Is this your intention of what you were trying to say? Or was this just a miscommunication? So there is definitely that potential for the ego to come in hot. There definitely is that potential or probability for jumping to conclusions coming in. But I think that as a conscious person, you need to decide, okay, how much energy am I going to invest in this exchange, right? Thinking back to that very first card, that very first lesson that came in this week of recognizing your value, recognizing your energy of value, recognizing that everything is an exchange, right? So, how much energy are you willing to invest in clearing up this communications or having this hard conversation? Or, is this something that isn't going to be worth your time and energy in the long run that you can just drop it and continue forward? So, something that you need to check in with yourself. Also, when an ego comes at you and an ego's engaged, it automatically wants to engage. Your ego is like, let's go. Right? So there is that sense of recognizing that within yourself and checking in with your nervous system and breathing it through and go, okay, hang on. We knew that the ego was going to come up, but I'm going to have a breath, ask myself in real time, how much time do I want to invest in this? How much peace am I willing to lose in this exchange, and then proceed? Okay. There is some wise counsel coming in, which is asking for help or listening to advice. There's also, they said, no, you need to take time to go in. So this is checking in with yourself. Make time to check in with your soul this week, whether this is journaling, meditating, walking, sitting quietly with yourself. I always love a good drive with no radio on. So making time to check in with yourself, because there does feel, I don't know why they just said June 6th. What's the date today? June 6th, Tuesday. So whether we really need to check in with ourselves before we make a decision, specifically on June 6th, there's a little tag there that they brought through. Checking in with your soul before you proceed is really the message that's coming in there, especially with changes coming in. There's also a lot of talk of holidays, summer vacations. Maybe we're trying to make plans of trips. They made me feel like, let's sleep on it. Let's just take a minute. So if you're kind of back and forth, or you're just kind of like, okay, we got to get this done, maybe wait a day or two to see. Maybe the prices are changing. Maybe vacation times are changing. There's something that's coming in that they're saying, like, let's just take a breath here and then decide in a couple of days, because usually that means that something's about to shift, which is always for your highest good. So it's either going to help you bring in or miss an inconvenience, or again, it's better prices, better plans, that type of thing. Overall, it feels like a good month, like a good week. I'm like very happy to be in June energy. A little bit of pep in our step, a little bit more. You know what I think it is? It's like there's less of that turmoil energy, like that mental confliction within. There's a little bit more ease. There is, like, again, that momentum that's supporting us moving forward. Definitely that light at the end of the tunnel type of energy. So I hope that you guys are all feeling that too. I just want to thank you so much for listening to Divinely Connected podcast. To come back tomorrow for your daily message, and I'll see you here next Sunday.